The kitchen service corridor of the Belmont estate was where my sister wanted me to spend her wedding reception. "Just stay back here, Natalie," Lauren had whispered urgently, fingers wrapped around my arm as guests drifted into the grand ballroom. "You'll embarrass us, please." My name is Natalie Morrison. I'm 29 years old, and in my family's eyes, I had disgraced myself by choosing a career in state government rather than joining the family's insurance brokerage. My younger sister Lauren, 26, was marrying Marcus Whitfield, whose family controlled a chain of luxury car dealerships spanning 3 states. This was her grand moment, her entry into the Whitfield family's elite social world, and apparently I had no place in it. My invitation had arrived 2 weeks prior, not the embossed cream cardstock Lauren had been showing off for months, but a text message. "Hey, there's technically space if you want to come. Don't bring anyone. Dress nice, but not too nice." I drove 4 hours from the state capital regardless, arriving in a simple burgundy dress. That's when Lauren intercepted me in the foyer, her complexion pale beneath layers of professional makeup. "What are you doing here? You invited me to your wedding. I didn't think you'd actually come." She stole a nervous glance toward the ballroom where 200 guests were already mingling. "Look, Marcus's family is very particular. His parents, his uncle, the senator, they're business associates. These are accomplished people. I have a job, Lauren. You work for the government." She said it the way someone might describe collecting trash. "You live in a studio apartment. You drive a 10-year-old Honda. Marcus's family will ask questions, and I cannot have you explaining your little nonprofit job or whatever it is. I work in veteran services. Nobody cares, Natalie." Her voice sharpened. "This is my wedding, my day. You'll sit in the kitchen where you won't create problems for us." Before I could get a word in, she'd flagged down the wedding coordinator, a woman named Beth, and explained that her sister wasn't feeling well and needed to rest in the catering area for the reception. Beth looked visibly uncomfortable. "Miss Morrison, guests should be in the ballroom." Lauren steamrolled right over her, insisting I preferred it, turning to me with expectant eyes. I could have pushed back. I could have made a scene. Instead, I said, "Sure, Lauren. Whatever you want." Her relief was immediate. That was how I ended up on a folding chair in the kitchen corridor, peering through the service window as my sister's wedding reception unfolded without me. My parents were at table 1 alongside the Whitfield family, Marcus's father Gerald, his mother Patricia, and his uncle, Senator Richard Whitfield, who represented our state in Washington. My brother Eric sat at table 3 with his wife, both immaculately dressed. Eric worked at Dad's firm, drove a BMW, and lived in the right neighborhood. He was the family's triumph. I was the disappointment who'd wandered off into public service after college. The ceremony itself had been beautiful. Lauren was radiant. I'd stood in the back of the chapel 17 rows behind the family, beside Marcus's great-aunt, who kept asking whether I was with the florists. Now, through the kitchen window, I watched my family celebrate as if I didn't exist. My phone buzzed. An unknown number. "Ms. Morrison, this is David Park, the governor's chief of staff. Governor Chin will be arriving at the Belmont estate in approximately 20 minutes. She is attending the Whitfield wedding as Senator Whitfield is a close colleague. She has asked to see you personally. Where should her security detail find you?" My pulse jumped. I typed back, "I'm in the kitchen service area." Long story. 3 dots appeared, then, the kitchen. "I'll inform the governor." I had spent 7 years at the State Department of Veteran Services, beginning as a caseworker and eventually rising to deputy director. 3 months earlier, when a veterans' housing crisis made national headlines, I had designed and implemented an emergency response program that placed 200 homeless veterans. The results caught the attention of Governor Rebecca Chin, who invited me to join her Veterans Affairs Advisory Council. Last week, she had offered me a position as her senior policy advisor for veterans issues, a role placing me inside her inner circle, present at cabinet meetings, directly shaping state policy. I had accepted the day before. The public announcement was set for Monday. My family knew nothing about any of it. They had never once asked about my work beyond passing dismissive comments about government salaries and modest ambitions. Through the service window, I watched the reception continue. Champagne toasts, the first dance, my mother laughing warmly with Patricia Whitfield, no doubt discussing what an excellent match Lauren had made. "Excuse me, are you Natalie Morrison?" I turned. A man in a dark suit with an earpiece stood at the kitchen entrance. "Yes, the governor would like to see you. Please come with me." I followed him through the kitchen, past bewildered catering staff, and into the main foyer. Governor Chin stood there in an elegant navy suit, her security detail positioned around her. "Natalie." She smiled warmly and pulled me into an embrace. "I heard you were here. Why on earth are you in the kitchen?" "Complicated family dynamics." Her expression shifted. "This is your sister's wedding, correct?" "Yes, ma'am." "And they placed you in the kitchen." It wasn't a question. She turned to her chief of staff. "David, where is Senator Whitfield?" "In the ballroom, Governor." "Let's go say hello." "Natalie, you're with me." "Governor, I don't want to cause." "You're my guest now," she said, leaving no room for debate, "and my senior policy advisor. We have things to discuss." We entered the ballroom together, the governor's security detail parting the crowd before us. Conversations stilled. Heads swiveled. Governor Rebecca Chin needed no introduction. She had appeared on the cover of Time magazine the previous month as one of America's most effective governors. Senator Whitfield spotted her immediately and moved toward her, hand extended. "Governor Chin, what an honor. I had no idea you were coming." "Richard." She clasped his hand. "I wouldn't miss your nephew's wedding. I'm actually here to see one of the guests, my new senior policy advisor, Natalie Morrison." She gestured toward me. The senator's eyes widened. "Natalie Morrison, the deputy director who ran the Emergency Veterans Housing Program?" "The very same," the governor said. "She joins my senior staff on Monday." I wanted to congratulate her personally before the public announcement. The ballroom had gone completely silent. Every set of eyes in the room was fixed on us. My parents looked as though they'd been struck by lightning. Lauren's face had lost every trace of color. Marcus's father, Gerald, materialized quickly at the governor's side. "Governor Chin, what an unexpected pleasure. I'm Gerald Whitfield." "Mr. Whitfield, congratulations on your son's wedding. I understand Natalie is the bride's sister." A beat. "Wonderful. Where is she seated?" "I'd love to join her table if possible." Beth, the wedding coordinator, rushed over with her seating chart, visibly rattled. "Governor, we didn't have you on the guest list." "That's fine. Where's Natalie seated?" Beth's gaze flickered to my mother, then back to the governor. "There was a request that she sit in the kitchen area." "The kitchen?" The governor's voice dropped by several degrees. "You seated my senior policy advisor in the kitchen?" My mother stepped forward, her face drained of color. "Governor Chin, there's been a misunderstanding." "Natalie wasn't feeling well," she asked. "I'm standing right here, Mrs. Morrison." The governor turned to her directly. "Why don't we simply ask Natalie?" She looked at me. 200 people held their breath. "Did you ask to sit in the kitchen?" "My sister suggested it would be better if I stayed out of sight," I said, keeping my voice steady. She was worried I'd embarrass the family in front of the Whitfield social circle. Lauren made a strangled sound. Marcus grabbed her arm. Senator Whitfield's expression darkened. "You put the architect of the most successful veterans housing program in this country in your kitchen," he said. "We didn't know," my father began. "You didn't know because you never asked," the governor cut in. "Natalie has spent 7 years transforming how this state serves veterans. She has housed hundreds of formerly homeless veterans, reduced VA wait times by 40%, and personally counseled more than 1,000 families. I have been trying to bring her onto my senior staff for 6 months. She finally agreed this week." Patricia Whitfield looked mortified. "The Morrison family is your family, Lauren." Lauren couldn't form words. Marcus stepped toward the governor. "If we had known about Natalie's position." Her position shouldn't matter, the governor said firmly. She's family. But since it clearly does matter to the Whitfields, let me be direct. As of Monday, Natalie will be present at cabinet meetings, advising me on policy affecting 300,000 veterans across this state and representing my administration at national conferences. She will have an office in the Capitol and a seat at every significant table in state government. She turned to Beth. Now, where should my honored guest be seated? Beth stammered. The head table is reserved for immediate family. Perfect, the governor said. That's where she belongs anyway. She offered me her arm. Shall we? As we walked toward the head table where Lauren and Marcus sat, frozen in place, I could hear the whispers erupting behind us. That's the governor's new advisor. They made her sit in the kitchen. The Morrison family must be absolutely mortified. We reached the head table. The governor smiled graciously at Lauren. Congratulations on your wedding. I hope you don't mind if I borrow your sister for a bit. We have policy matters to discuss. Lauren's mouth opened and closed like a fish. No sound emerged. The governor glanced back at Senator Whitfield, who had followed in our wake. Richard, join us. I'd love Natalie's perspective on that veterans employment bill you're sponsoring. For the next hour, I sat at the head table with the governor and Senator Whitfield, discussing legislation while my sister's reception swirled around us. Guests formed a quiet line to introduce themselves, congratulate me, ask about the Veterans Program. Business cards materialized from seemingly nowhere, nonprofit directors, corporate executives, government officials. My parents attempted to approach once. The governor's security detail politely suggested they wait. When the governor finally rose to leave for another engagement, she hugged me one more time. I'll see you Monday morning, 9 o'clock. We have a full week ahead. Thank you, Governor. Thank me by continuing to do the work you do. She lowered her voice. And Natalie, family who cannot recognize your value doesn't deserve access to your success. After she left, the entire ballroom felt changed. People who had looked past me now wanted conversation. The Whitfield family circled with questions about my work, my new role, my future plans. Lauren appeared at my side, mascara smeared. Natalie, I didn't know. If I had known you worked with the governor. You didn't know because you never once asked what I actually do, I said, without anger, without heat. You assumed that because I don't drive a luxury car or work in Dad's firm, my work didn't count. I put you in the kitchen. Her voice fractured. You ordered me to stay in the kitchen so I wouldn't embarrass you. I respected your wishes. The governor's arrival wasn't something either of us planned. Marcus appeared beside her, looking dazed. My uncle just told me you're joining the governor's senior staff. He's been trying to schedule a meeting with you for weeks about the Veterans Employment Bill. I know. I've been reviewing his proposed legislation. We should connect. Our family foundation does veterans work. Your family foundation that didn't believe I belonged in your wedding ballroom. I picked up my purse. I don't think so, Marcus. My father pushed through the crowd. Natalie, we need to talk about this privately. About what? Dad? About telling Senator Whitfield I had a little government job? He repeated it to the governor. She wasn't pleased. His face went crimson. I didn't know the scope of your work. Because you never asked. You were too busy being embarrassed that I hadn't joined the insurance firm. My mother was weeping at table 1. My brother Eric was staring at his phone, probably reading coverage of the governor's surprise appearance. I walked out of the Belmont estate into the cool night air. My phone was buzzing steadily, colleagues offering congratulations, reporters requesting interviews about the appointment, invitations to speaking engagements. The society pages the following morning were devastating for my family. Governor Crash's wedding to rescue senior advisor hidden in kitchen ran with photographs of Governor Chin escorting me to the head table while my family looked on in stunned disbelief. The piece detailed my work, the emergency housing program, and my new position, and included quotes from wedding guests who had witnessed my sister's directive that I remain out of sight, as well as my parents' dismissive remarks about my career. Lauren called 37 times that week. I didn't pick up. My official first day as senior policy advisor was Monday morning. The governor held a press conference introducing me as the centerpiece of her expanded Veterans Initiative. Senator Whitfield was present, praising my work and announcing his collaboration with my office. My family showed up uninvited. Security turned them away. That Friday, the governor brought me along to a meeting with the Secretary of Veterans Affairs in Washington. We traveled on the state plane. As we lifted into the air, she passed me a folder. Your family has been calling my office requesting access to you. I'm sorry. Don't be. I wanted you to know so you can decide how to handle it on your own terms. But Natalie, she met my eyes, you owe them nothing. You built this career despite them, not because of them. I gazed out the window at the state receding below us. Somewhere down there, my family was grappling with the reality that the daughter they had hidden in a kitchen was now sitting across from governors and senators. The kitchen had given me a clear view of exactly who they were. And the governor's entrance had given 200 wedding guests the same unobstructed view of me. I had always belonged at the table. That had never been in question. They had simply been too proud and too blind to see it. 6 months later, I stood in the governor's office as she signed the Veterans Housing Initiative into law, legislation I had written. Senator Whitfield attended the signing ceremony and shook my hand for the cameras. Your family must be incredibly proud, he said. I smiled politely. They had sent flowers to my office every week since the wedding. I donated every arrangement to the VA hospital. My promotion to Chief Veterans Policy Officer came the following spring. The announcement made national headlines. My face appeared on the cover of Government Executive magazine, the policymaker who started in a kitchen. Lauren's marriage lasted 8 months. The Whitfields quietly stepped back after the wedding scandal spread across the internet. Marcus filed for divorce, citing fundamental incompatibility and family issues. My mother attempted to attend my swearing-in ceremony. Her name was on the do not admit list, my doing. The governor noticed. Still no contact with them? No. They had every opportunity to see your worth, I told her. They chose to hide me in a kitchen instead. Their loss, she said, and meant it. She was right. Because while my family had been consumed by embarrassment over me, I had been consumed by the work of changing lives. 300,000 veterans didn't care where I had sat at a wedding reception. They cared that I had fought for them when my own family refused to fight for me. That was the only table that had ever truly mattered.